Howdy peeps, and welcome back to the channel. And today we have another kit review, and this one I'm considering doing not so much a build series, more of a paint series to show how I go about painting figures and basically using a brush rather than an airbrush. So what do we have? We have the Games Workshop or Citadel Warhammer 40,000 or 40k Tyrant, Hive, Tyrant, Swarm Lord. As you can probably tell by the picture, Tyranids are a race of intergalactic devourers. They just demolish everything. I won't go too far into the lore, but suffice to say they did kind of take the cues from the Alien movie. They are somewhat Giga-esque. Now in the box we do get several different versions available. Standard Hive Tyrant with Lash Whip and Bone Sword, a Swarm Lord, and Flying Hive Tyrant with different weapon sets as well. It does give us a basic list of the paints for the model. Unfortunately, as this is quite an old kit these days, none of those paint names are actually applicable anymore. They don't make Bleach Bone, Scabrig, Warlock Purple, Leech Purple, Dwarf Flesh and Graveyard Earth anymore. They are available under a different name and slightly different shades, however, so it doesn't make a huge difference. Plus, hey, it doesn't exist. Paint it whatever colour you like. So, open the box, destruction manual, pop back one side. There's not a huge amount in here. 2 sprues and a base, which just a black circular base with some slight texture on it. So let's have a look at the sprues. Again, this is going to be a really quick review as we only get the 2 sprues to go through, so you may as well watch to the end. Sorry. So first sprue, and again being able to identify all the parts could be quite tricky, but if I bring you in, you'll be able to see more closely what we're getting detail and part wise. Now you have to bear in mind this is an older Games Workshop mould. It's 2011 according to the sprue, so it's not that old, but they have come leaps and bounds in the last few years. As you can see, we've got one of the 4 arms with one of the weapons. I think that might be a venom cannon. It's, nice detail. I mean, it's, again, as I've said before in reviews of Games Workshop pieces, we're not going to get the finesse and the delicacy of detail that we're expecting out of our model kits, like tanks and planes and things, simply because they're designed to be handled and moved around a battlefield and knocked over and have dice thrown at them and that kind of thing. They have to be able to withstand that. If they're too delicate, they're going to break all the time. And we've got one of the heads with a big old scything thing up on the top of it, nicely detailed. And the forearm, one of the other arms, I'm guessing. And we get the wings, one of which, if you build it, which I may well do with the wings, it will become a fairly impressively sized beast. And the other wing, more of the body parts, adrenal sac, the tail if you do the flying one, the actual jaw of one of the different versions. Now if we turn it over, you can see the sheer amount of ejector stubs that are on the sprue. If I move it so you can actually see the sprue, they're all over the place, which does mean we don't have any ejector pin marks on any of the parts. So a good one to Games Workshop for that. I think I might try a slightly different painting technique on some of this. I might try actually doing a blend, especially on the wings, the airbrush and inks. stealing directly from Gil Mondragon. It's something he does so well. I think I might give it a go. Although what colours I'm not sure. Probably red and purple or something like that. And the second sprue, which contains more of the random body parts of the similar level of detail. I have the lash whip. Sorry, the lash whip. Is that? No, I'm getting it wrong here. The feed for one of the weapons. Well, there's a venom cannon and can't remember what the other one was. But the bone sword, various hooky, spiky, greebly bits, a different head, the vents for the back, another pair of swords, another tail, there's the lash whip, and just more weapon options. We have the legs and the monstrously large rending claws. Bearing in mind a human at this scale is about that big. You're not going to want one of them attacking you. And again, I'll flip the sprue over so we can see we have exactly the same thing really with the ejector stubs on the sprues themselves. So there's few if any EPMs on any of the parts. There's just the one in there and a couple of tiny ones on the inside of the main body, but again never going to be visible. So that is all we get in the box. Not a huge amount. So let's have a look at the instructions and I'll zoom you back out for these if I can remember which way around it is. Yay, I got it right. So I have a bit of bump about what a hive tyrant is and showing the three main versions that we can build. The Tyranid hive tyrant, the hive tyrant with wings they call it, but everyone else just calls it a flyrant, and the swarm lord. They're all variations of the same thing, and it will say up here, you may not be able to read it, let's get a pointy proddy device, that'll do. It follows steps 1 to 10 to build that one, 11 to 18 to build that one, 19 to 23 to build that one. Although that one does use most of steps 1 to 10 as well to get the main body together. So as we can see, it's CAD instructions, but it's not a complex build and all the parts are fairly obvious. They do tend to fit together pretty well. You will get the occasional slight seam line, but nothing to worry about too much. Putting the tail together, legs, hips, sticking on the base, which won't do yet. Putting the body together, putting the body on the hips, and the head, and it goes through the various weapon options. We've got a stranglethorn cannon, a heavy venom cannon, lash whip, bone sword, scything talons, and attaching whichever weapon set you want. And the three of the finished versions. I'm sure you can wangle something a bit different if you're a bit creative. Then we're on to the flyrant, or the flying hive tyrant, starting off with the tail, which is the only thing with the flying one, is the only bit of it that touches the base is the tail. The rest of it is completely airborne, so it may need pinning in place or some rather strong glue. And again we're following the same kind of thing, and the different weapon options. And then to the swarm lord, it says please follow steps 1 to 5 of the hive tyrant to make up the body of the swarm lord. So you do that and then you start off going through. And yes, it's the swarm lord that can have the bone sabers or the massive great rending claws. And then we get to the sheet with all the various characteristics and rules for the model in the game, which I'm guessing virtually none of you are either at all interested in, have no idea what they mean, or if you already play Warhammer 40,000 you probably already know them all anyway, and just in a bunch of different languages. So that's that. The Tyrant Swarmlord, Hive Tyrant, Flyrant, whatever you want to call it. Big nasty greebly monster thingy. Equally good description. So if you'd like to see me do another build series, as it were, paint series, on how I would go about doing this, I'm more than happy to give it a go. I'm no figure painter, as I keep telling people, but they don't believe me. It won't turn out looking anything as good as that, don't worry about it. But yeah, if you'd like to see me do that, just pop a yes please in the questions or in the comments or whatever, and I'll see what I can do. But I say it will be a while. Well, I might get it painted and finished and built and everything and videoed, but I will finish uploading the Spitfire build series before I even start uploading this. Otherwise it would just be build series videos every time. So, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your modelling. Peace out and rock on. Bye bye.